This is going to sound impossible, but it's true. The most powerful technology humanity has ever built is running out of fuel. And the fuel is not power, GPU chips, or money, but the real human content. Every word you've ever written, every book, blog, comment, research paper, song lyric, forum argument, love letter, and late night tweet, all of it is being consumed at an unprecedented scale. And here's the terrifying truth. We are not producing new human data fast enough to feed the machines we've created. AI doesn't think, AI doesn't understand. AI predicts, and it predicts by learning from you. So, human-generated data is not optional for AI. Without it, modern AI doesn't just slow down, it collapses. The smarter AI becomes, the faster it consumes the very material that made it intelligent in the first place. And once that material is gone, something unprecedented happens. This is not a future problem, this is not a sci-fi warning, this is a 2026 problem. And today, we're going to break down, technically, brutally, and honestly, how soon human-generated pure data will exhaust, and how it will quietly destroy AI creativity, accuracy, and prediction power. When people hear training data, they imagine some abstract cloud of information. But pure human data is very specific. It is the data that originates from human cognition, not machines. Pure human data is the data created by human without AI assistance, like research papers authored by humans, forum posts created from lived experience, news articles written by journalists, code written by engineers solving real problems, and art, music, and storytelling driven by emotion. What it does not include is content generated by AI or content heavily influenced by AI. And here's the technical problem. Modern large language models do not know which data is real and which is synthetic unless explicitly labeled. Once AI-generated content floods the internet, the future AI models will be increasingly trained on the output of previous AI models. And that is where everything starts to go wrong. Let's talk numbers. AI models are trained on trillions of tokens, words, symbols, and fragments of meaning. But human content production does not scale exponentially. AI consumption does. In simple terms, humans produce data linearly. AI consumes data exponentially. That gap is fatal. Multiple research groups have independently modeled this trajectory. Their conclusion is unsettling. At current scaling rates, most high-quality, publicly available human text will be fully consumed between 2026 and 2032. And that's assuming no acceleration. This is why companies are now locking down forums, licensing social media archives, paying for historical data, restricting scraping, and training on private datasets. This is not strategy, this is desperation. The gold rush isn't for AI models anymore. It's for human thought. Now we arrive at the most dangerous phase, model collapse. Model collapse happens when AI systems are trained repeatedly on synthetic data, data generated by previous AI models. Each generation will introduce slight distortions, statistical shortcuts, loss of rare edge cases, and bias amplification. Imagine photocopying a photograph. The first copy looks fine, the second is slightly worse. By the 10th copy, details vanish. By the 100th, the image is noise. That is exactly what happens to AI trained on AI. Researchers have already observed vocabulary shrinkage, reduced conceptual diversity, overconfident wrong answers, and loss of creative variance. The model becomes smooth, confident, and wrong. The scariest part is that model collapse doesn't look like failure. It looks like polished nonsense. And AI creativity today feels magical. But here's the uncomfortable truth. AI does not create. It recombines human creativity, born from emotion, conflict, curiosity, pain, and experience. And AI creativity is born from statistical proximity. When trained on rich human data, AI appears creative. But when trained on synthetic data, creativity collapses into familiar tropes, predictable structures, recycled metaphors, safe averages, and novelty disappears. This is already visible in AI art converging towards similar styles, where writing is becoming formulaic, music losing unpredictability, stories following identical arcs. Not because AI is bad, but because the data is rotting. Creativity doesn't vanish suddenly. It fades quietly until everything feels the same. Prediction is AI's core strength, but prediction depends on ground truth. When ground truth disappears, prediction becomes guesswork. The model stops learning reality and starts learning itself. This is catastrophic for medical diagnosis, financial forecasting, climate modeling, legal analysis, and safety critical systems. Wrong predictions don't just confuse, they harm. The future AI problem won't be stupidity, it will be convincing certainty built on false foundations. We are already seeing explosion of low-value AI content, SEO optimized nonsense, and content farms feeding bots, not humans. The internet is becoming self-referential. Educators reporting of students being outsourcing thinking, reduced problem-solving depth, and increased reliance on AI suggestions. Humans themselves are generating less pure data. And this is accelerating the crisis. And this is how future will look. From 2026 to 2027, human data scarcity will become visible in model training quality. By 2028 to 2030, synthetic data will dominate. Model will start collapsing and will become harder to reverse. And creativity will be plateauing. By 2030 to 2035, general intelligence will stall and human originality will become a premium resource. And the paradox completes itself. AI makes human creativity more valuable, precisely because it can't replace it. We didn't build AI wrong. We built it hungry for something finite. Human experience cannot be scaled like compute, and no amount of optimization can replace lived emotion, moral judgment, cultural evolution, and genuine surprise. The future of AI does not depend on more data, it depends on protecting human originality, because once pure human data is gone, AI doesn't just lose intelligence, it will lose its connection to reality. Please like, share, and subscribe, because the next decade isn't about technology. It's about humanity surviving its own intelligence.